Clint used to get a few bottle babies and he would raise them up to maybe about this size and then he would sell them. Then we started dating and I asked him why he didn't just continue raising them and sell them for beef. So, you know, we gave it a shot and turns out it wasn't so bad. And we went from like 2 or 3 bottle babies to 2 dozen bottle babies. And that's a lot of work. That was hard. And then we started, you know, trying to keep some of the girls so they could have their own kids and we could do less bottle babies. Because bottle feeding is a lot of work. I do hair for a living at a salon in Ogden, and you know, talking about bottle babies and things like that, I kind of found a customer base through my hair clients. So I would be at the salon and, you know, people come in and ask, how was your week? What'd you do? I do a lot of stuff that normal hairstylists wouldn't do, I guess. And so we talk about bottle feeding, and I would show pictures of the calves, tell them about the silly things that a calf did, like people do with their children. All of a sudden show pictures of their kids and I'm like, look at this calf, it's so cute. Decided we were gonna sell them for beef, and I had a few clients willing to try it, and turns out it worked out pretty good. They've all been happy enough to come back around for everybody's, or even bumped up from a quarter to a half or a half to a whole, which is pretty cool. That's good for us, and that says it tastes good, and it does, in fact. We're just trying, we're still super small operation. We're trying to get big, but everything with beef right now is just crazy. It's up and down. It's hard to know, do we get more or do we sell? We're just doing our best, I guess. Jazzy, does mom have cookies? You're not supposed to name your steers, and I know that, and I will still do it. You get too attached. When you name it, you end up more attached, and it's harder to either sell it or, you know, send it to butcher. Yeah. It's better for them, because then I know they were super loved. Like, I want to know where my food comes from. That's why this was a big deal for me. I like knowing where my food comes from, and I want to make sure that it was raised right, it was healthy and cared for, and these guys are loved. Like, these guys get cuddles. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 moms over at a different spot, and they have their new babies with them, so we don't have to bottle feed them.
We didn't have a setup before I bought this. I used it a lot to load. I backed the trailer right up to it and load right through it into the slide gate on the trailer. Because I used to just back up and have a wide alley and the cows would sit and turn back on me, and it was a mess. Q-Catch 7408 portable chute alley and tub. It's set up here now because we're breeding cows here. And when I'm done breeding cows here, I'm going to take it down to the pasture and breed cows down there. I grew up on a farm, my uncle's farm, over by the bird refuge, about 10 miles away is all. And so I've just always been around the farm, and I've always loved it. And then I've always wanted something of my own, and then it's just kind of turned into this. I always wanted to be a farmer, and I couldn't figure out how to get in it. In January of 2016, I bought 6 Holstein bull calves, and that was where it started. And I used the money I made off of them to buy more calves, and it's kind of snowballed on itself. And now I got a couple tractors and do custom harvesting with a combine and custom hay with swather and balers, 3x4 bales. And cow dogs that don't really work cows. The Meadow is the mom of Snowman and Roscoe. That's our kids. Meadow's 5, and these 2 are 3, 3.5. They were accidents, but we love them. Wouldn't change anything about it. Eventually my goal would be I have a full-time job, and then I come home and do this a couple hours every night because I got so much going on. The goal would be that this would turn into my full-time day job, and then I would just do this for myself.
To be the boss, the owner, run the equipment, as well as care for the animals, able to do it on your own time. In the daylight.
In the daylight, yeah.
So just across the street here, one day, a few years ago now, the neighbor's combine caught fire and burned down in the field, which is awful.
Unfortunate.
It really is. And Clint
Yeah.
ended up reaching out, and they said they probably were not going to buy another one and replace it. 'Cause combining was always Clint's favorite, and so he saw an opportunity and started looking for a combine. He found one out in Montana, ended up getting that. He was trying to line up drivers for it. When I was growing up, I always told the grandparents I wanted to drive the tractor. I'll drive the tractor. So I told Clint I would drive it, thinking one day, maybe 2 days, but now I'm his #1 driver.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it. I think the combine's pretty fun.
Needing a driver goes back to me having a full-time job.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
no, the combine, it worked out good. It's done pretty good. It's done pretty well for us to keep it moving, and it's kind of stressful because everybody wants stuff done.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, but it was fun and I enjoyed it. And so then I had the idea to expand, and so I started asking around. I talked to some guys that were retiring that did a lot of hay, or that wanted to get out of the custom hay, and so I was like, if I do this, I'm not going to step on your toes to take your customers, kind of thing. And they're like, no, go ahead, we'll tell them to call you. I called Brigham Implement and asked them, Paul, I called Paul and said, what do you have as in line of a baler and a tractor? I said, if he finds me a 7120, I'll buy it.
Dad, he talked about it for days. He was like, they found a tractor and it's this and it's this and it's got this. So finally he realized, I've been thinking about it that much for this long.
I did say no, and he almost sold it to somebody else, and I felt really bad. And so then I bought it.
So now he needs a self-propelled
That's
swather, so I can drive that because I don't
next.
really want to drive the tow behind.
I thought that was the next thing, and then I bought an AeroQuip.
True, bought the AeroQuip, which has been super helpful.
Yeah, I would.
And you are really.
Change that. I love the AeroQuip.
Every time after he uses it, he comes in the house and he's like, I'm so glad I got that. Like, I can't even tell you. That made it so much easier. It was so much better. And honestly, like, the fact that he comes in and he's not mad at the cows is a total bonus. Plus, I don't really have to help now. He can pretty much do it all by himself because he's got the AeroQuip. My favorite part is probably the little bitty calves when I get to cuddle them when they're all teeny. That's probably my favorite. And then I grow them up into these big guys that want attention too.
It is.
But then they're annoying.
I don't know. It's hard to say what your favorite part is. The whole process is enjoyable. You get them, little babies are cute, and they're each their own little cow, and so they each have a little personality. They're all different, so you kind of get to know each one of them, and you feel bad when you sell them.
Yeah, don't worry, I cry.
Yeah, that was always the favorite part growing up, is when they come in the fall to cut combine wheat. I'd go ride with them.
Come in.
Drive them crazy when I was a little kid. They had a box you could sit on, or a bucket. Back in the 90s, that was the buddy seat. So.
Disney, come get a cookie.
She tell you we name most of the cows. The equipment, most of the equipment even has names too. All the cows usually whatever TV show we're watching at the time they're born.
A lot of them had Kilcher names.
Yeah, this is Jewel Kilcher. We had Otts and Otts Lee. No, we haven't had an Otts Lee. We've had Otts Otto and August. Combine's name's Frankie off of Cars.
And also Frankie D.
Yeah.
Because we're watching Jersey Shore. And DJ Pauly D, he always says, good vibes only. He's always in a good mood. Nothing gets him down. And so we named the combine Frankie D after Frank on Cars and DJ Pauly D. And we put a Pauly D sticker in the window because good vibes only. That's all we try and have. It's not easy. Okay, so brown cow, Gaga, Stella. Here's Jazzy. This one's Jewel. This is Happy Feet. Dibs is back there. Yippee. His mom's name is Whoopi, and his brother's name is Yahoo. And then there's Duke and Monster, and that's probably Phyllis. I name one Duke in every group because my grandpa always named his dogs Duke. Miss Ogden, Miss O, Moonshine, Nilla, Two-Tone, Red, 7, Wahoo. That's right. And then the babies over there, most of them have names.